All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, we are off and running on this Wednesday. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tim Lammers.
And I'm Erica Arias. Thanks so much for waking up with us. Here's something you definitely don't see every day. We've got a live look from Hawaii where Kilauea is up early again. Seismologist says it started shooting a fountain of lava more than 300 feet in the air yesterday. They say it's the 9th eruption since December.
Yeah, they said there's no immediate threat from the lava. Keep in mind the crater, that whole area has been off limits to visitors for years and years. But some volcanic gas could cause smog downwind. They actually call it VOG, like
I was just
volcanic
say
smog.
that.
And the ash that does fall could wind up irritating some people's eyes and skin.
I was just going to call attention to the VOG because I had never heard that term.
Sounds like a Dr.
It looks
Seuss word.
really cool, right? Yeah, it does.
Yes. All right, so some spots here in Connecticut might see some delays scrolling along the bottom of your screen, mostly for the southern part of Connecticut.
Not because of the VOG, let's make that clear. A little bit of snow, mainly on the immediate shoreline. I woke up to a dusting at my house as expected. Enough for those side roads to be a little slick, so I think the safer thing to do, as you see at the bottom of your screen, is to have a couple of hours delay on the immediate shoreline. I think the farthest north I checked was Hamden and like Shelton, and that's about it. So that kind of tells you where the action is. It is still an active stretch, though. Tonight, snow to ice to rain, and that may be a little more problematic for everybody, not just the shore, and then another messy storm potentially for the weekend. Winter weather advisory is in effect for everybody but the shore, telling you, hey, this is going to be sloppy. That's the word we've been using all week long. Here goes the snow from last night. Again, you can see where it's concentrated. A few snow showers across interior sections, but in terms of accumulation, let us know what you got if you're on the shore. Love to hear some numbers. I've seen maybe inch and a half towards New London County, and that's it. Big mess coming, 1-2 punch, but really we're going to kind of right be in the middle of it. So yeah, we are going to get a little snow, but it's quickly going to turn over into a little mix before rain takes over, and that's what we'll have as you wake up tomorrow morning. Now, what kind of mess is going to be waiting for you tomorrow morning? That's why we have the weather impact alert in effect for tomorrow. All right, school bus forecast, assuming you are getting on the bus this hour, 27 degrees for the high schoolers now, 35 later on. So a lot of clouds in there. Mostly seasonal temperatures. We got to look at Valentine's Day, we got to look at the weekend, and we got to look at some cold numbers. We'll tell you when they all come together. That's coming up. Coming together right now on the roads. Hopefully, cars are not coming together.
Yeah.
Let's hope that doesn't happen at all, Symphony.
Let's hope not. Hopefully this Wednesday commute is much smoother than yesterday mornings. That was a mess. Alrighty, quick look at our statewide map. We do have one crash to tell you about, and it's happening out in Windsor this morning. Here's what you need to know. It's happening along Route 75. That area is closed right now between Eno Street and Warham Street due to a one-vehicle wreck. It doesn't appear to be impacting traffic too much out there. We'll keep an eye on that. And we have a quick look at our Hartford drive time. Smooth sailing for you if you are heading from Windsor to the 84 interchange. And if you're traveling from New Britain Ave to the Hartford Tunnel, that will take you about 5 minutes. Tim, Erica?
Well, both state and local police this morning are still looking for a person who they say flashed a gun to another driver on I-84 yesterday.
Now, at this point, police have recovered the vehicle of the suspect, and they say there is no threat to the public. Fox 61's Kaylee Collins is joining us live from the rest stop in Southington, where that vehicle was found. Kaylee, what can you tell us about this continued manhunt?
Well, Erica and Tim, this morning, police still have yet to identify that suspect. But like you said, this rest stop area, which is right near exit 27 on the eastbound side of 84, is where they found the suspect's vehicle. And they believe that that person then ran away from this area. So much of their search yesterday was in the Southington area. They used canines in the search. This particular rest stop area was shut down for several hours. Nobody was able to come and use the rest stop while they conducted that investigation. We also know that the state police investigation, together with local authorities, also led to 2 nearby schools in Southington to enter into a secure school mode, at least for a couple of hours while the state police were investigating. We also heard from a business owner who has a business right down the street from where state troopers found the suspect's vehicle, and he told us that police were pretty quick to jump into action.
We got a text message with an alert saying that there was somebody on a rampage of some sort. First thing was we got back, parked the car, and ran for the front door and asked anybody if they saw anything. They said no, so I said let's lock down. let's make sure we're safe. I don't want to say it came out of a movie, but it was a little interesting, but it was very scary.
And back here live, we are still working this morning to get more information on the suspect, who this person is, and also potentially where police might be focusing their investigation as it continues today. Anybody who has any information is encouraged to contact local or state police. For now, we're live in Southington this morning. Kaylee Collins, Fox 61.
All right, Kaylee, thanks for the update. We'll check back throughout the morning for sure. Well, meantime, at 6:05 in Hamden, a person was hit by a car yesterday evening. It happened along Dixwell Avenue. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot had the latest details from police.
Hamden Police Department, firefighters, and EMS were called to the 970 block of Dixwell Avenue for a report that someone was hit by a car. We are told that victim was rushed to the hospital and he's facing serious injuries. Police tell us there is not a search for the vehicle or people right now, and if anyone saw anything or knows anything, they're urged to contact Sergeant Ferrara at 203-230-4000. For now in Hamden, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Okay, thank you. 6:06 this Wednesday morning. Governor Ned Lamont said he wants to expand access to pre-K and preschool across the state. So much so, he's now asking the Connecticut General Assembly to approve what could become a historic bill. Fox 61's Bridget Bjorlo looks at what it could mean for parents.
This would be the largest expansion of pre-K and preschool access in Connecticut history. The governor hopes to tap into our state budget surplus to make it all happen so that families earning up to $100,000 a year don't pay a penny.
Ola Sazenzi traded Poland for Connecticut in 2021. She moved here with her husband and young daughter.
Since then, we've been trying to make life here for ourselves. And my husband was working full-time, and I had the college degree to finish.
But to do that, the couple needed to find childcare, which wasn't easy. Lucky for them, an opportunity opened.
We're very fortunate to find a program that we've loved, and my daughter has been there. This is her 4th year there. I was able to finish my college degree.
Now she works for Parents Connecting Parents, helping other families find childcare options. And if House Bill 6867 passes the Connecticut General Assembly, those options will be plentiful.
What we are doing is building an endowment that's there for the kids.
Governor Ned Lamont wants to expand access to pre-K and preschool across the state by investing millions of state surplus dollars into a new fund called the Universal Preschool Endowment.
There's no dispute about how important early childhood education is for these kids, infant and toddlers right through pre-K. First of all, I hear that from every teacher I talk to.
The goal being to provide more spaces for child care education at no cost to families making under $100,000 a year. A change that Ola says would not only put children on a path of success, but their parents too.
I believe that all of our families in Connecticut should have this opportunity to make better quality life for themselves, just like we were given the chance to do.
The plan would be to transfer $300 million in surplus funds for the 2025 fiscal year to this Universal Preschool Endowment and the unappropriated surplus in the general fund in future years. In studio, Bridget Bjorlo, Fox 61.
Bridget, thank you. All right, we're getting you an update now on Connecticut Congressman John Larson. Doctors told him that he had what's known as a complex partial seizure this week. Now, we showed you this video yesterday of the moment it happened while Larson was speaking on the House floor Monday afternoon. He suddenly paused for a prolonged period of time, and when he started talking again, he was very slow in his speech. In his statement sent to Fox 61 last night, Congressman Larson says that this pause in his speech has to do with a past surgery. He says, quote, 15 years ago, I had a heart valve replacement due to a variation in the shape of my aortic valve and that I was born with. Sometimes people with this condition can later develop symptoms such as the momentary change in speech or movement that was apparent yesterday. The doctors have prescribed medication that, according to them, will greatly reduce the chance of this happening again, end quote. Larson plans to be back on the House floor today.
Former UConn men's basketball player Eric Cobb has been accused of murdering his mother. The sheriff's office in Jacksonville, Florida, said the 28-year-old shot and killed 51-year-old Erica Winford in her home Monday. Police said her body was found wrapped in a blanket and towels in her backyard. Police said they arrested Cobb as he was trying to leave his home. We're still working to learn more about what other charges Cobb faces.
Cobb played for the UConn men's basketball team from 2017 to 2019. He played in 47 games. At one point, he was suspended, but he later rejoined the team. At the time, UConn said it was over, quote, conduct deemed detrimental to the team. At the Capitol, state lawmakers say they are pushing back against what they call a coordinated attack on Connecticut's utility regulators. Yesterday, lawmakers accused Eversource and United Illuminating of trying to weaken the state's Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, or PURA. They say the companies have lobbied lawmakers to block the reappointment of PURA chairwoman Marissa Gillette after she pushed back on rate hikes and held the companies responsible for possible service failures.
We need a strong regulator to ensure that transmission investments are guaranteed to be in the best interest of ratepayers, not shareholders.
Lawmakers want PURA to have even more authority. They argue that they're going to protect customers from hikes.
Also at the Capitol, lawmakers have called for an expansion of the Fallen Officer Fund so that it would include firefighters. Yesterday, State Comptroller Sean Scanlon was among those who testified in favor of the bill. It also calls for giving health insurance to survivors of a firefighter who was killed in the line of duty. Last year, Governor Lamont signed a bill that created the Fallen Officer Fund that gives a lump sum of $100,000 to the surviving beneficiaries of any Connecticut State Police officer who's killed in the line of duty.